Welcome to Larry David's Disc. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got a one-lander. We're going to mulligan on this one. I kept a one-lander earlier, and yes, we will keep on this one. We can make this work. So we have to put one card on the bottom. I think at this point, we'll just go ahead and put Dredge on the bottom. Yeah, we're going to be okay with that. So click OK, and then our opponent is on the play. So we'll let them get this game started. But yes, welcome to Larry David's Disc. Hopefully you're excited, and also, if you are keeping score at home, this is a Good Morning Vietnam video. So it's about a little after 6 o'clock in the morning, so here we are, playing some Commander. Let's have some fun today. We're playing Larry David, which I will explain. Hexproof from artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Then whenever Larry David enters the battlefield, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token for each creature that died this turn. Then whenever Larry David dies, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Our opponent's going to lead off with a Ponder, and if you did not know, there's a person hanging out and pondering in the background art. If you didn't know that, there you go. Now you know. All right, so we run into Dragon Lord Ojutai, and just so we're online for, I guess, black mana, yeah, we'll just go and lead off with Bog and just hit our opponent's graveyard, get rid of that, and then anything else, pass the turn to our opponent. Playing its Keranos, God of Storms. Indestructible Devotion 7 turns into a creature. Then reveal the first card you draw on each of your turns. If it is a land card revealed this way, draw a card. Then whenever you reveal a non-land card, deals 3 damage to any target? Yep, any target. So we did cover both commanders, got that out of the way. Let's go and lead off with Thassa's Intervention. Let's go and lead off with Tundra. And then if our opponent ends up cracking Polluted Delta, we'll see. We might end up jamming this Anticipate on our opponent's turn. We'll kind of see what's going on. But yes, welcome to Larry David. Hopefully you're excited. So the Larry David part, a very long time ago, it was probably like 2 years ago, that's how long we've been calling it Larry David around here, is our opponent had played Larry David's Disc, or we did, or something like that. And if you don't know, Nevinyrral is Larry Niven backwards, and Larry Niven is a sci-fi artist, enters the battlefield. Each opponent gazing. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just go and jam and Anticipate real quick, see what's hanging out on top of our library, and then see what we can grab. So it's going to be Neutralize, Marsh Flats, go for the Throat. I'm almost tempted to just grab a land at this point. Yeah, I think we'll just end up grabbing Marsh Flats. Let's put those on the bottom in any order, and then we'll take a closer look at this Aria of the Flame here in just a second. But yeah, it's Larry Niven. He's a sci-fi artist, and he wrote a book about the world being destroyed by an asteroid, which I did read. It's been a long time since I've read that. So we do have Vindicate if we want to end up going for that. If we just want to take care of that really quick. Our opponent is shields down. I think we're okay. I mean, just in case things get out of hand, let's just go and go for Vindicate on this. Yeah, I feel like this is a safe play. Their shields down. If the burst counters start really piling up on that, it's going to be really hard for us to kind of dodge. And then we just gain 10 life, so we will take that. But yeah, he's a sci-fi artist, and that's why they named it Nevinyrral's Disc, is because his popular book, when it was made, is about the world blowing up, and it blows things up on the Magic board state. So, flash forward, I would always call it Larry Niven's Disc, and then somebody left a comment saying, did you call that Larry David's Disc? And I was like, no. But from here forward, it shall be called Larry David's Disc. So we are playing Larry David Esper Control today. So if you would like to visualize that in your head, you're more than welcome to have fun with that. So, all right, so we run into Limdul's Vault. Do we want to, just so we're online for the 5th land drop, this is going to be Marsh Flats. It's going to lead off with the Temple of Silence, get the Scry going, the Scurry, the Fever. There we go. All right, it's kind of like pause or either lag for a second. So Return to Dust, let's go and put that on the bottom for right now, and then anything else we will pass the turn. Now, we do have Thassa's Intervention online as just a quick little counter spell for 1. So if they do end up tapping out for Keranos, we'll be able to grab that with Thassa's Intervention. So we're going to try to keep that in mind. Since we did cover both commanders, give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you'd like to feed Carnage Gladiator here at the Larry David Zombie Show, consider using my Bitly link. If you're not a patron, this is one of the best ways to support the channel. You get cards, and it costs you nothing. So you can click on the link, the bit.ly/JoltMTG, or you can just click on the actual deck link for Nevinyrral down in the description below. But yes, if you use that, hey, much obliged. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and go Thassa's Intervention. Counter target spell unless it pays twice X. Yeah, we're cool with that. So it's going to be Keranos. It's going to be blue, blue, and then tap down for 1. Oh, that feels good. Be able to slow roll Keranos off the battlefield. So take care of that, and then get over to our turn. Probably end up dropping down Dragonlord Ojutai. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. We don't really need to rush Larry David out there just yet. We don't need a situation for him to look at the camera. So let's go ahead and crack Marsh Flats. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves another blue-white source. I think that's going to be a pretty good option for us. So let's get this popped out. Let's grab a Hollowed Fountain because Tundra is already out there. We will pay 2 life on this. We've got the life total from that Aria of Flame. Tap down for white and blue. There we go. It's going to be Dragonlord Ojutai coming down. We'll talk about the deck here in just a second, but I really love Dragonlord Ojutai. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Commander online on MTGO, MTGOTraders has you covered. They have all the new cards from Commander Legends. Also, let's give a quick shout out to Ink Gaming. If you go to inkgaming.com/jolt, that will give you 10%. And while you're there, you get to check out some of my Mad Neon Playmat series. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you have your scorecard at home and you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. But yeah, with Dragonlord Ojutai, this is one of my favorite cards. I don't get to run it in a lot of decks, but I really enjoy it kind of as this Esper problem card. You know, it's not necessarily a closer, but if you get it down, it has hexproof. We're going to be able to get that kind of that brainstorm ability going once it starts swinging in. It's a 5/4 with flying, so we're going to be able to keep something like this crackling Drake out of the way. Do we just want to chump on this? It's going to be a 2/4. Yeah, I don't want to get caught snoozing on something goofy like that, so we're going to let that come through. That's just simply just 2, and like I said, we gained 10 life from that Aria of the Flame, so we're sitting in a pretty good spot. So next turn, we'll kind of see what they deploy out. I think we'll still just go and push in with Dragonlord Ojutai. All right, so it's going to be True Name Nemesis. One of the good things about this is that we do have Sphinx Rev that's going to allow us to dig a little bit deeper. We need to find a quick mana rock source. And so I think at this point, if we want to make that happen, we should probably go Enlightened Tutor. I think that's really going to help us power out this Sphinx Revelation. It's really what we want to try to do. So let's get this popped out. Let's go for Mana Crypt. There we go. It's going to go on top. We'll go and play that card. That way we get ahead on mana and kind of make the land drop in a way. Let's go and push in for a 5/4, because at this point we're just going to be racing with the Drake and True Name Nemesis. So we're going to go and swing in for 5. We're going to lose hexproof once a Dragonlord drops out of the fog of war. But if we can get this to stick, we're going to get ourselves a nice little brainstorm action. So let's see what this is going to be. Ooh, and that's going to be Vampiric Tutor and Monastery Mentor. Talisman of Progress, too. If we're going for the Sphinx Revelation line of play, we kind of already have basically a tutor with Limdul's Vault, so I think at this point we just grab Talisman of Progress because we really want to cash in on this Sphinx Revelation. So there we go. Get in for 5, put them down to 23. Let's go for Talisman of Progress. And then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. But yeah, with this build of Larry David, you know, this is a pretty stock Esper control list. You know, that's kind of what we're going for. We do have tokens in here. Vapor Snag. Yeah, we're okay with that. We got the little brainstorm out of it, so we'll let that happen. Yeah, anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, this is basically just Esper control. We've got all the good stuff in here. We got Vindicate, Mortify, Anguish Unmaking. We got the 3-drop Orzhov control package that really keeps us open on whatever sort of threat our opponent has on the battlefield. We've got a good mix of counterspells in here. Mana Drain, Counterspell, Negate, Disdainful Stroke, Arcane Denial. You really want to run a pretty good amount of counterspells in a deck like this, especially if you're going to be building a control deck. You know, it's just always good to have universal answers for things before they hit the battlefield. And especially with Larry David basically just being a board wipe out of the command zone, you can kind of go heavier on a lot of your utility pieces, and that's really going to help you. Okay, that's going to be Young Pyromancer. Are we going to dig for a board wipe? sounds pretty fun. So let's do this. Let's kind of go counterspell test. Let's go black and then blue for Limdul's Vault. And we can be pretty aggressive with this. So at this point, we're going to be looking for a board wipe. They've only got 3 cards left in the hand, and we haven't seen anything super crazy from them. So I'm going to cycle through until we find something pretty good. Ooh, that is a... So we can go for a board wipe. This is a beautiful Limdul's Vault. I mean, we've got Brainstorm to draw extra cards. We have Thirst for Knowledge, Cyclonic Rift to send everything back. Yeah, I think we don't. That is a very good pile. So let's do this. So let's put Snapcaster on top of our library. We don't need that just yet. Let's put Cyclonic Rift on top. I actually really do like Cryptic Command. So let's put Brainstorm on top, we'll put Cryptic Command on top, and then Thirst for Knowledge. So that way we draw into that Thirst for Knowledge. We can rip into Thirst for Knowledge and still have just enough for Cryptic Command, which sounds like a pretty good plan, or we can keep us open on Sphinx Revelation. So we're going to go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger, 1 to flip, and then anything else. Yeah, if we're going to do any sort of action, we're going to do it on our opponent's turn. So let's just go and kick the turn over there. You know, turn 7, Esper just... sweetly passing the turn. Don't worry, we have nothing to do on your turn at instant speed. So yeah, so we've got the Thirst for Knowledge, just going to allow us to rip into a Cryptic Command, and if they do end up going shields down, we might just go ahead and get that out of the way. I think that sounds good. Let's see what they're tapping out for right now. Okay, and that's going to be Ice. Tap target permanent, draw a card. So let's go for this. Let's go 1, 2... Thirst for Knowledge. That way we still have the blue from Talisman, and that's going to allow us to draw a couple cards. All right, so let's go ahead and discard 2 cards. I feel like we're past the Dragon Lord boat. We really want to be operating at instant speed at this point in the game. We need to get rid of 1 more card. We've got Brainstorm, which is going to allow us to dig a little bit deeper. And then we know that Snapcaster is on top. Yeah, I think at this point we just get rid of Brainstorm. So we've got Cryptic Command. That's going to allow us to potentially counter something next turn and tap down the entire board state. That's going to be an extra elemental token. That's weird. It looks like the Voice of Resurgence token right there. So, and then also with us having Cyclonic Rift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're on line for a Cyclonic Rift. So we've got some time to kind of set some things up and find some sort of win condition. Let's go ahead and at the beginning of combat, let's just kind of give this a shot. Let's just see if they've got counter magic, because that kind of freezes up on Sphinx Revelation. So let's go ahead and tap all creatures, draw a card, and we'll tap down on Bojuka Box. So this is basically just going to buy us a combat step. Hopefully, it'll kind of tap everything down. We get a card draw. If they have some sort of action, they might want to respond to it, and that'll get that counter spell out of the hand. And it also sets us up in a position to where we can end up going for Cyclonic Rift. And actually, our opponent just straight up just passed the turn, so we'll take that. And we also have Snapcaster Cryptic, which that sounds like a pretty good plan. So how do we want to sequence this? So we do have Larry David, and we did draw into Planier Collapse. Now, if we're going to be going for Snapcaster, yeah, I still like going Snapcaster or Cryptic Command. I kind of like that, because that's going to be 1, 2, and then we still have access to the blue mana, because that's going to be 1, 2. Yeah, let's do that. That's going to be a really good tempo play for us. And that'll put us in a spot, too, if we can get Larry David down. And that's going to be Sweltering Suns for a cycle. Yeah, that is perfectly fine. If we can get Larry David down with Planier Collapse, I actually kind of like this in Larry David. You get this on the battlefield, and it's kind of like the seal, the talismans, different things like that, where you can just kind of set it off to the side and crack it whenever the board state is good for you. So let's go for the Snapcaster line of play. That's going to be 1, 2 off of Cryptic Command. Have Snapcaster enter the battlefield. Let's go for that Cryptic Command. We're going to tap down our opponent's creatures and draw another card. That's what we're going for at this point. So we're going to tap down our opponent's creatures. We'll see if they've got another counterspell. No, they're good. So it's going to be Hedron Archive. And that Hedron Archive is really going to help us power out some stuff next turn. We can simply just get that down. Maybe bank on a Cyclonic Rift. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll see if we hit the land drop. That'll kind of keep us open on Cyclonic Rift. So I'm just going to choose Tails on this one. 1 to flip. And I have lost count of those. Ooh, Arcane Denial. Yeah, we really need to kind of bust ourselves open on mana. So let's do this. So it's going to be Mana Crypt. Let's tap down Bajuka Bog, 1, 2, and we will tap down lastly on Island. So there we go. So get Hedron Archive to come down. And if we want to, we can actually go for a Planar Collapse. And we still have Arcane Denial backup. Yeah, I like this. So let's tap down Talisman. That's going to tap down for 1. And this is going to be at the beginning of our upkeep. So this is going to allow us to potentially set up where we can just have Larry David come down. It's going to blow up during our upkeep. And then we're going to have a fresh board state of tokens to kind of deal with that. So and it also puts our opponent in kind of a weird spot. You know, if they have been holding on counter magic, we still have Arcane Denial to stop this Planar Collapse. So let's see what this is going to be. And that's going to be Wizard's Retort. So yeah, let's go Arcane Denial on Wizard's Retort. And see, when you're playing Larry David, you know, little stuff like this, like you can get goofy with Larry David with your build, but just having something that's just, you know, 2 mana, wipe the board, go for Larry David, rebound with a bunch of zombies, it just puts you in this huge advantage position to where the following turn you can really start swinging in with your zombie army. So let's see if they've got another counter magic. If they do, if we're fighting over a Planar Collapse, there's worse things that we could be fighting, our opponent could choose to be fighting for. So we definitely like this line of play. I feel like we'll be okay after this. Okay, so that is going to be Counter Flux, can't be countered, and that's going to be an extra one. So there we go. Yep, that's fine. And Planar Collapse is one of those, hey, if we get it down, it pops off next turn, then we have a zombie army. If not, then we just made them get rid of some of their premium spells. I mean, we've always got Cyclonic Rift to kind of send stuff back to their hand too. So, all right, this is going to be Young Pyromancer token, Wizard's Retort, counter target spell. We cannot stop that. And then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. We could swing it for 1, but we'll at least leave up Snapcaster. Excuse me, we could swing it for 2, but we'll leave up Snapcaster. That way we can trade on Young Pyromancer if Young Pyromancer feels the urge to swing in and attack. But yeah, this is pretty much what you want to be doing with an Esper control deck. You know, use the stuff like Sphinx Revelation late game, even if we don't have a board state, simply resolving a Flame Slash, yeah, that's a Snapcaster hit with the Flame Slash. But yeah, just simply resolving something like Sphinx Revelation, even though we don't have any creatures on the board state, that's going to be a very good thing for us because we're going to get some really nice life gain, get some really good card advantage, and then kind of go from there. But we need to, 8, 11. I don't think we're dead, but yeah, I forgot about Cackling Drake over there for the instant and sorceries. All right, so we do need to get something moving on our side. I got too chatty with the video. Oops. I forgot about, yeah, I was thinking like, oh, we just got a bunch of 1/1s. We've got plenty of time. But no, that 8/4 is going to add up. So we'll see if we can't set up a, Cyclonic Rift. Let's choose tails on this one. On the flip. Thank you very much, Mana Crypt, and thank you to the Magic Gods. We will take that. So if we drop Arcane Signet, so we've got Larry David. We've got no way to make sure that Larry David is popped. So we're looking at Crackling Drake at this point. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's going to be 9 with Arcane Signet. Yeah, let's do that. So let's drop down Arcane Signet. Maybe we can set up a pretty decent Sphinx Revelation. If not, then we might go down to the Cackling Drake, but we shall see. So anything else past the turn over to our opponent. Yeah, we're going to try to jam this Cyclonic Rift during our opponent's attack step. That way maybe they kind of think the coast is clear, but they probably see it coming from a mile away, but that's leaving so much mana open. So I'm just going to let them get to the attack step. All right, so this goes Cyclonic Rift Overload. That's going to be 1, 2. And the good thing about us dodging that Mana Crypt is that we're not just going to die next turn. That's a good feeling. And we'll leave up 2 more mana representing some counter magic. So we've got Cyclonic Rift. Let's see if they have counter magic to respond to that. And if they do, they've got it. Yeah, that's maybe we should have sequenced things a little bit differently. I was just really excited to, that's a bummer. That's going to go on top. Good game to our opponent. Well played. A very good tempo game from our opponent. Yeah, with Cackling Drake, I totally forgot that was going to be a equal to instant or sorceries right there. So that hit a pretty good chunk of our life total. That probably would have forced me to go a little bit heavier with Limdul's Vault, finding some sort of board wipe. But even then, we saw our opponent, it was Counterflux and then Wizard's Retort to kind of get that going. So good game to our opponent. Is it's going to take it on this one with Larry David. Maybe we need a little bit few more I don't know. We'll kind of send it back to the drawing board. But basically, at its core, it's going to be an Esper control deck. We've got all the pieces in here, but I think maybe we kind of hung out on that Sphinx Revelation line of play a little bit too long and got a little bit cute with our live total. But hey, that's magic. We'll pick it up next game. In fact, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Larry David's Horde. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, I love it. We're going to keep on this one. This is pretty much everything that you want to see in an opening hand other than, you know, having Soul Ring or Mana Crypt, and then that would be like complaining about a free steak or free food or free vegetarian option, whatever floats your boat. We will certainly take this. So let's go and lead off with, and then we can end up going for Enlightened Tutor for a Mana Rock, and that'll be Murmuring Mystic. Yeah, I like that. So anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. So we're playing Larry David, commander of the undead zombie horde that can blow everything up. Hexproof from artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Whenever Larry David enters I will explain that here in a second. Whenever Larry David enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each creature that died this turn. Then whenever Larry David dies, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments, and that is going to be a Sylvan Scrying. So let's go and crack a Prismatic Vista. Let's grab ourselves a Plains. And let's go Enlightened Tutor. Let's grab ourselves a Mana Crypt. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. Get that popped out. There we go. Grab Mana Crypt, put that on top, and we'll be able to keep up with that Sylvan Scrying. But yeah, destroy everything, pretty much. Name of the game with Larry David. We're playing against the Gitrog monster himself, Mr. Hypnotoad. Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog monster unless you sacrifice a land. Then you may play additional land on each of your turns. Then whenever one or more land cards is put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. All right, so we rip in the Mana Crypt, and let's get the Murmuring Mystic show going. That sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's go Mana Crypt. Let's have old Murmuring Mystic come down. It's going to be blue, black, 1, 2. And then anything else past the turn. So we got Limdul's Vault. We have Vampiric Tutor. At this point, what we're going to be using these for, probably going to use Vampiric Tutor for some spot removal on Gitrog Monster, unless it just comes out now, which sounds like that might happen. But we can always do that during our upkeep with Vampiric Tutor. So we'll see what they're going to assemble for the turn. Be Mr. Gitrog himself. So, and look at the value going off with Gitrog. I'm digging this. This is, not going to lie, I love playing Gitrog, and I love playing against Gitrog because somebody's drawing a bunch of cards, and that's always a lot of fun. So, yeah, I think we might end up going for Vampiric Tutor spot removal. Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty good bet. So let's do that. So let's go Vampiric Tutor during our upkeep. It's going to be a Murmuring Mystic token, bird token on the battlefield. Let's go Vampiric Tutor. And either way, I guess at this point, we're going to have access to 4 mana. So let's see exactly what spot removal we want to go for. Go for the Throat. Yeah, that's going to be a good option. Go for the Throat goes on top. This could be Mana Crypt. Let's choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. I think we are 0 for 1 on those Mana Crypt triggers. And then we run into Go for the Throat. So let's get Scalding Tarn down. I'm just going to crack Scalding Tarn. Grab ourselves a Black Source, 100%. Don't want to not do that. And we already have Underground Sea out there. So let's go and grab ourselves a Watery Grave. We're going to pay 2 on this one. Yes, we will. Let's go for the Throat on Mr. Gitrog right there. Get an extra bird token on the battlefield. And this is going exactly how we want it to go. We're not winning the game, but we're controlling the board state very slowly, which is a good thing to see. So let's go and swing in for 1 with Murmuring Mystic, and then anything else pass the turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both the commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link that will allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. In fact, if you enjoy my content and you're not a patron, that's one of the best ways to do it, and costs you nothing. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Commander Legends online, it is on Magic Online right now, so if you want to build some Commander decks, whatever that may be sure to hit them up. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/Jolt, that's going to give you a 10% discount, and while you're there, you get to check out some of my Mad Play Mat series. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time. So do we want to jam a Limdul's Vault right now? That's going to be Mana Crypt trigger. to go for Gitrog. Yeah, I think we do that. Let's go and choose tails on this mana crypt trigger. 1 the flip. We're 1 for 2. And let's Limdol's Vault. And that's going to be, well, we need a color source for that. I still think either way, we want to vault. We want to get some sort of value going. So let's go and go for Limdol's Vault. Definitely pay life to ship that away. Any order on the bottom. Anticipate, Command Tower. I mean, this is actually a pretty good value play. I mean, our opponent hasn't done anything super crazy. And that's really going to put us ahead on mana. We're basically just looking at a payoff card of Anticipate. Man, I kind of like this. Yeah, I kind of like this. We can go Murmuring. Yeah, let's do this. I'm not going to pay life. Let's put Command Tower on top. And let's actually sequence it this way. So let's put Hedron Archive on top. Let's put Talisman on top. We've got the land drop, so we can go for Command Tower. And if we want to make sure we get the lane drop for next turn, let's sequence it like this. So that'll be Anticipate, Command Tower, Thran Dynamo. There we go. All right, so we're going to do that. Draw to Thran Dynamo. That's going to be Island. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit of a value play off of that, but this is one of those decks where you just want to have a pretty good chunk of mana available. It really helps you out because one of our big payoff spells is finding some sort of, tap out, draw X. We've got Thassa's Intervention in here. Actually, let me get the chat pulled away. We've got Pull from Tomorrow in here. We have Sphinx Revelation, Thassa's Intervention. What you're trying to do in an Esper deck like this is one of your win conditions is getting a ton of mana on the battlefield. And, like next turn, we know it's not on top, but if we rip into it, we're going to be at the point to where we can draw 5, 6, 7 cards. And when you're playing Esper Control, that is almost a win condition in itself. But now the party has officially started. Our opponent has Life from the Loam out there. So that is going to be very interesting. So we got a little bit of time to set some stuff up. One of the good things about having an Esper commander, especially when it enters the battlefield, we don't have a way to sacrifice Larry Niven right now or Larry David, but being able to get some sort of extra value. Let's say we go for a board wipe, blow the board up, enters the battlefield, then we're going to be able to replace those tokens with Larry David zombie tokens, which is just a wonderful thing to see. This is pretty much everything that you want in an Esper commander, where you're very open and flexible in using Larry David to kind of control the board state, but at the same time, it's still going to give you those zombies to kind of follow it up. And it's also very flavorful, man. I don't know. I just like, and whenever they spoiled Larry David, I was like, yes, this is, we got ourselves a Gitrog turn. Just going to let them go through this turn. We'll see what else is happening. And even if we don't end up, what we might end up doing is just going for Larry David next turn, just to get it down. That way, if they do want to swing in with Gitrog, we can have Larry David basically kind of fight the Gitrog monster and blow everything up. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. The only downside is if we do end up doing that, we can pay 1 that's going to get rid of a lot of our artifacts. So that's kind of one of the downsides to playing Larry David, is you need to make sure you're set up with that. All right, so we're going to toss the bird token in front of the Gitrog monster. 6 commander damage adds up. So these birds are coming cheap, and that's what we want to happen. So it's going to be Mana Crypt Trigger. Yeah, and I think we just end up going Larry David. We're going to choose tails on this Mana Crypt Trigger. 1 the flip. Let's draw into that Command Tower, and then we have Anticipate next turn. Let's go ahead and go for Larry David. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Tap down for Esper colors. And then tap down for black. There we go. All right, so we got Larry David on the battlefield. Nothing died this turn, so we're not going to be able to take advantage of it. But at least we do have a board wipe that we can pay 1 if we want to. So we've just kind of got a board wipe cracked over to the side. Something that we can crack if we need to off to the side. Now, outside of that, like I mentioned, drawing a bunch of cards with a bunch of mana. This is also kind of a Esper kind of token, a little bit of a token build. There's a lot of times where if you have Monastery Mentor, Murmuring Mystic out there, Talran, that's going to give you a lot of tokens just to buy you time until you find that board wipe. Use Larry David to kind of reset the board state, get some extra zombie tokens out there. We do have Phyrexian Altar in here, so there are some times I haven't gone that far down the Larry David game plan of using Phyrexian Altar to add mana, recast it, different things like that. I basically wanted to build a Esper control deck first, and then as more people play Larry David, if there's certain interactions that work really well, we want to, I can start to incorporate that into our build of Larry David. But what we've got right now is basically just a very stock Esper control, and there's nothing wrong with that. When you're looking to build a new commander, if you just look at a commander and you're like, man, I just want to build like a control good stuff deck, hey, get after it, because Larry David's going to certainly help you do that. So that's going to be Eternal Witness, bringing back Prowler, and with Prowler, discard a card, -2. And that is, yeah, we're going to let them go through this turn. This is going to be pretty rough for us. So let's see what's going to happen. Thankfully, we are at the point now to where if we want to trade with Larry David, getting rid of a lot of this stuff out here, we might get to that spot. Now, we do have, I think, Anticipate on top of our library, and that's going to be, Lion's Eye Diamond. And but yeah, we do have Anticipate on top. That's going to allow us to dig a little bit deeper. Hopefully, we can find some sort of answer with that before we have to go for that. But I don't know what's going on. We might be dead this turn. All right, so let's just go and let them just kind of cycle through some stuff. All right, so our opponent, Eternal Witnessed on Yawgmoth's Will. So what we're going to do on this, we're going to scoop this one up. They've got more than enough mana to close this one out. Good game to our opponent. We're just going to save them a bunch of clicks. But yeah, this is pretty much what you want to happen with Larry David. Get the kind of game rolling. But unfortunately with Gitrog Monster out there, yeah, they're about to close it out. We got eaten up by Gitrog. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.